Mr. Holmes, you came. Oh, how kind. Though now, of course, I realize it is because of my game, not the works on display.
It needn't be one or the other. Your man's disguise was easily debunked, Mr. Vogel, but I shall admit that you planted in me the seed of curiosity.
Ah, terrific! I had no doubt you'd put the pieces together. Let us call it an opening gambit before the real game begins.
So, this little game of yours, what's it about?
An enigma to solve. A locked area in the basement with no windows found brutally vandalized. I have no clue how it was possible.
What about this intrusion? What happened?
Last night, I was about to leave the gallery when I heard a noise downstairs. I went to the basement, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It was admittedly a rudimentary inspection. It is not uncommon to get rats down there, so seeing nothing of note, I left and locked up the building. When I returned this morning, alas, I discovered that part of the exhibition had been torched, and there was no sign of the intruder. The mystery being, of course, that all the doors to the gallery were locked exactly as I left them.
And the door to the basement is the only entrance?
Correct. Tell me you're not intrigued.
And this locked area downstairs, what exactly was it?
The under gallery. It's always shut, and I'm the only one with the key.
Ah, so this is your private collection, not part of the gallery.
Oh, no. It's an exclusive exhibition of eccentric pieces. Only a select cadre of artists, investors, and collectors are admitted. Not everyone deserves to have their eyes opened.
Well, this matter is certainly within my wheelhouse.
This intrusion troubles me. Please take a look around if you're willing. The under gallery is through the door at the end.
I will see what I see.
You sure you don't like art, Sherry? You sure you don't like art, Sherry? Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him. Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
Closed with a metal bolt. Footprints. Size 9.5. Old and hasn't been used for a long time. The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame. A true artist never shows an unfinished piece.
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken, John. A handprint of the thing from another world. But it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane. Sodden and mould-ridden. One presumes deliberately. A simplistic attempt at provocation. The parasites of creativity. Or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests. Saturn devouring his sun. Oh, grim composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing. A Malpow butt. Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room. But the vandalism was a cover for the theft. The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
Extravagant paintings have been left to rot in a basement. A commentary on decay and the crumbling of society, correct?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many filtered through the subjective mind. That forgetting, embellishing, lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
Mr. Vogel, I have confirmed that the intruder was an average-sized, flexible Malpal smoker with a limp. As it happens, the vandalism was a cover. The true intent was to steal a painting without your knowledge. The fact is, one of the pieces from the Wild Room is not in the wreckage.
What? That is extraordinary.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My, your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
What was depicted in the piece?
A bound woman, wrapped in robes, being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news, or at least with a good story.
A fresh newspaper? I wish you pleasant reading.
Oriental rugs at a good price. I'm afraid I have nothing to offer, except my company.
Let's pick something that suits you. A good choice. A good choice indeed.
Is this familiar to you?
You're asking the wrong woman.
Not bad.
Can I ask you a question?
It's funny when someone like you asks someone like me for help.
مرحبا.
ستمطر قريبا.
Merhaba.
May I ask for your assistance?
You'd do better to hide yourself at home and do not ask anybody such questions.
Excuse me, just one question.
You're not a smart person, are you? I don't care about your business.
Mr. Holmes, I have something for you.
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, ma'am. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police. No visitors allowed. No visitors allowed. No visitors allowed. No visitors allowed.
Don't part. Let's pick something that suits you. A good choice. A good choice indeed.
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you?
How are you, Mum? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake! How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare.
Please, accept my thanks. I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just...
The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife. Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days. Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags. A normal kitchen knife. Could be the murder weapon. Red skin, tails on the back, reminds me of Werner's description of the stolen painting. The chest has been searched. Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here. I wonder where he got that fancy camera. It appears the wine was truly awful. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching.
Don't look at me like that, Sherry. I will not touch that dirty floor.
Red skin, tails on the back, reminds me of Werner's description of the stolen painting. The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material. The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material. Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon?
Do you know what makes a lady happy? Paid rent.
Selam.
I think I'll leave the exhibition in its current state for a while. I'll call it The Art of Vandalism.
The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is called Expressionism. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him.
Do you know what makes a lady happy? Paid rent.
It's time for some chemical magic, John.
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? Nothing behind it. Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl, she was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
What's wrong, dear? You look...
Can you tell me if anyone else...
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. Maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband...
Can I ask a favor?
Of course.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat. And don't look in...
What?
It really doesn't matter.
Phew, Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now, take off your hat. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
I think I'll leave the exhibition in its current state for a while. I'll call it The Art of Vandalism.
May I ask for your assistance?
That's new to me. There is nothing I can tell you. Don't miss out. Let's pick something that suits you. A good choice. A good choice indeed.
Come! Come! Decorate your house in Oriental style.
Are you able to help me?
I don't answer questions by your sort.
May I ask for your assistance?
Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't know anything.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
You and I are the economic foundation of this island. We should help each other. But I don't know what you are talking about.
Are you able to help me?
Oh, I've heard talk.
Do you know anything about this?
I'm afraid I can't answer that. I know nothing about it.
Does this poster truly claim that Cordona has a ghost? Did you hear? Another sailor's gone.
Beasts!
Murderers!
They're completely livid.
First they come to our land, then they murder us.
Is this familiar to you?
Drop them all into
You
the
work,
sea!
I count. There are no questions in this formula.
Is this familiar to you?
I uphold the law, so I'm not answering your questions.
Where do you think you're going? Speak with the chief.
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm from City Hall. They sent me to oversee the situation.
No, you're not. I'm the supervisor of the camp. Now, sir, tell me who you really are.
Very well, Mr. Harlow. I am a private investigator. I'm looking for...
A private investigator? Really?
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they? You consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly...
And how exactly...
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall, and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. But in return, I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, or the they won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do it.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. Just tell me when you're ready.
Mr. Harlow, how did the...
Oh.
I've been away.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now.
Smuggled? Then...
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide... When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock...
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out... I only hope we'll find a humane solution and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here?
What I do, and what I am responsible for, are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding.
Are the police here on City...
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't... Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct...
I'm ready.
All right. Go inside the camp and find... Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent...
Oh?
Beasts!
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with...
A surveyor?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office, and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home.
Could you first tell me...
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder.
I'm sure. Do you have an...
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this... And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly...
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of...
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet, since that's an unaffordable luck. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people.
Did you learn anything?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like... Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on... My best bet is that this thug had something against...
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
And no...
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there, near there.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypass...
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle's...
And where is this young...
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men. I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill?
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body? 0.
What can I get you, mate?
Murder! Beasts!
What a pleasant man this Mr. Tewkesbury is.
If they find out about the passage, everything will go to hell. Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the camp a little more thoroughly. Sherry, just look at this. Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea? We have seen some dark places in Cordona, but this...
Is this familiar to you?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? A steel dirk, sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here. Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping John. A violent death. This man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John.
Are these the rations the refugees get from the authorities? How do people even survive out here?
Malpal, soaked with salt water. 1,000 pounds. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk.
Our dead fella truly has had a day of misfortune.
Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently. A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal. I'm afraid these leaves can only be added to tea. I can use this to stop the infection from spreading. Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound. I've collated all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
Thank you.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection. Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Someone was dragged against their will. Clearly a left handprint here.
You still here? I've already told you all I've learned. Don't bother someone else with this, son. I've already told you all I've learned. I've already told you all I've learned. Less than you do.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads. I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
No one deserves to end up in a place like this.
Help me, please.
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
No one deserves to end up in a place like this.
Do you know anything about this?
How dare you address me?
Is this familiar to you?
You and I are the economic foundation of this island. We should help each other. But I don't know what you are talking about.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
Murder! Beasts!
I hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
Murder! Beasts!
Excuse me, just one question.
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
Is this familiar to you?
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
May I ask you something?
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
I hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
A man's footprint. A heavy boot with a worn-out sole. Police boots. Always happy to trample evidence. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
I hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
No, it's too short for these walls or cliffs. Sealed shut. I doubt our man could get through these grates. It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards.
I hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Such a mess. Let's figure it out.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Murder! Beasts!
A single Malpal butt. Roadman cigarettes. a brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
You still here? Your problem, not mine. You do? Well, good for you. But I'm afraid I'm not the one. Speak to Mr. Harlow here.
You don't even care to listen?
It's sad, but coming up with conclusions is not... Anyway, speak to the supervisor. I'll just stand...
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clock can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
Could you help me?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Murder!
Beasts!
Do you know anything about this?
You have a nerve to talk to me. Get back to work.
Help me, please.
Sorry, pal. I can't remember.
Everyone's looking at us, Sherlock. You sure you know what you're...
Could you help me?
I am sorry. That's not something I know.
Beasts!
Help me, please.
I have other duties.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people?
Could you help me?
Maybe there's someone smarter than me, officer.
Could you help me?
Nobody cares about us. So why should we care about anybody?
May I ask you something?
You have a job, so why don't you go back to it instead of bothering me?
Can I ask you a question?
You have a job, so why don't you go back to it instead of bothering me?
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
Help me, please.
Nah, never had nothing.
Hello.
Hey.
All fresh issues are sold out.
Do you know anything about this?
Oh, if only I could help you with this.
along.
May I ask you something?
I am sorry to disappoint you, but I don't know about that.
Do you know anything about this?
Please, stop bothering me. I don't know anything.
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
Is this familiar to you?
Sorry. We don't see much here.
Excuse me, just one question.
They often take us from the camp to work. Most don't mind, though. It's the only way to get a glimpse of freedom.
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came from.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Nayla? My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Nayla, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Nayla doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's... face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
At least some of your kind have a heart. Thank you again.
You still here?
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scalario. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged, right?
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
Murder! Beasts!
Guests of Cordona, the treasures await you. Collect them all and return for more. Find 8 and come back for more.
So much work, so little time.
An impressive slice of life. The police had a lot on him, and at the same time, nothing at all. Amateurs.
Would you like to report a crime?
Can I ask you a question?
Don't be angry with me, sir, but I don't know.
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
They're refugees from the camp.
So many goods here. Let's find something illegal.
An essential remedy against sea scourge on any ship.
That's our way in, Sherry.
Hey, yo. This is private property. You lost something.
I'm here to discuss business with Mr. Bernadotte. I tried the front door, but...
Mr. Bernadotte isn't seeing anyone. Go.
It's in Mr. Bernadotte.
What?
Listen.
So...
I did try to...
Oh, you killed him!
No more crime for you until next month.
Hey, you could have kept him alive.
Don't cry, you'll live.
I thought we were against murder.
No more crime for you until next month.
I couldn't miss the party.
Oh. Too simple. Don't cry, you'll live.
snuff's ready. Give him the pepper snuff.
Terribly sorry. No more crime for you until next month.
The snuff's... Give him the pepper snuff. The snuff's ready.
Overcome. I'm coming. I'm coming for you.
Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff.
How do you do?
I'm coming.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
Time to knock this guy out.
Too simple.
Sherry, look. This seems familiar.
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
It's all right. I won't harm you.
Like you didn't harm the folks on the way here?
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it. VH Grindley Flow Blue Tableware. Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa. A Dogon statue from West Africa. A Dogon statue from West Africa. A century old at least. This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotte Company Limited. Let's see what's hidden there. Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear... I've got to... It's better I leave.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth. This is it. This is where all the magic happens.
Please don't shoot me. I have a family. Spare me.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. Then come here, and we shall talk. Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
Niccolo Bernadotti, I presume? The name is Sherlock Holmes, and I'm afraid I bring bad tidings.
Is that so?
The man you sent to the refugee camp failed in his task. He impaled himself on his own blade. Clumsy and chaotic end.
For a man who just broke onto my property, you are more businessman than brute. You have my attention, Mr. Holmes. Do not waste it.
Mr. Bernadotti, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. I was hired, privately, to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization, and thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotti.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office.
As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact,
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest. So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotti?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, and I am compelled to ask why you want it. Who is the man visible in the photograph? An associate?
Not yet, Mr. Holmes. Though with this picture, that may change. The man in the photo is a British envoy on Cordona.
What exactly do you want from him?
My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
Why did you send your man to...
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. I thought the girl was safer with us.
I could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled art.
How high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people... The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
I saw refugees from the...
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotti. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
Ha! I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me, as much as he deserves.
So in your plan, everybody will be given their due.
Seems like a fair deal, no? Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism. I take your point.
I am positive our deal will benefit everyone.
The front door's now open, sir. You can leave through it. If you want, of course.
contest for the guests of Cordona. Find hidden treasure.
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back to... Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure?
You blame yourself for what you did. Won't be any good unless...
What sort of...
I'm here because of Nate. You don't...
Lad, if you won't tell me why you came, I'll call for someone here to...
I came to talk. I have a solid piece of evidence that proves you guilty of the violation of a young girl.
What kind of evidence? The silly painting? That's ridiculous. Rumors. Don't listen to a word of it.
I wouldn't call it solid if it were just a painting. I have a photograph that would be enough...
A photograph? Oh, so you've plucked up courage to finally...
I'm not interested in money. I came here to hear your version of...
Not in the habit. Well, it didn't...
I've never written a single word to you. That's not my style. I'm more... direct. But in exchange for my patience...
Fine. I suppose now we have a...
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not. Respect. That's an...
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton. So...
You mentioned blackmail.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous... The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too.
What does the blackmailer...
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, up until the last moment, I hoped you would... I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence.
Boniface Mercurio, does the...
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you.
Oh, that is bad.
You had motive to...
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that... Well, him, yes, I thought he could have been... There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do.
I don't believe people, I believe...
Then look at the...
So, let's return to the beginning.
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company. I completely lost my...
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at the...
It's...
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an
I would never have planned such a terrible thing.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was still...
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is...
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide...
What would you do in my...
I would never put myself in such...
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current... We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire... I made a mistake. But I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better... You will make amends... Use your connections to help patriate the refugees. Find them decent homes.
Yes, all right.
That's... Naylor deserves the very utmost.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying...
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these... People.
Have you thought it...
Almost. The refugees, what will happen to them?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right... The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to...
From where did you gain such...
I never asked you how you found the photograph.
But how can I believe?
Ugh. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the... It's a win situation for me to...
You deserve to be punished, but the greater good is what matters here.
I'm glad that this situation...
It will be over when you settle the matter.
You have my word.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotti's office.
Bernadotti? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then. What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important, after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Previously, you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. Thank you, Mr. Vogel.